Okay, let's talk today about two-person verification drills and push hands. Uh, since Bob has joined us, I'll mention Bob. There's a reason for that, and Mary. Since we have Bob and Mary, and Bob's been with us now for I think 1.5, almost 2 years, and I think almost 1 year now, 1 year plus. And then Mary's been with me for quite a few, almost 2 to 3 years. But since Bob come on board, we have all these videos on the WhatsApp program. It can get overwhelming. And most of the videos that we post, on the WhatsApp group is two-person verification drill. So I want to elaborate on that, why we have those on and what they represent and its importance. So when you think of push hands or two-person verification drill, in a nutshell, what it is and how it's defined, it's just an exchange of energy. Your energy, my energy, somehow working in harmony. That's important because when you're practicing on your own solo training, how do you know if your energy is flowing? How do you know if your zone is developing? How can we help ourselves to deepen our understanding of zone, deepen our understanding of routine, deepen our understanding and application of Jing Sha Lai, quiet mind. Those are the reasons why we do the two-person drills. For those of you that live far away and not able to attend the in-person classes, when you watch those videos, it's just not the two of us like moving uncontrollably and using this physical force to push each other. It has nothing to do with that. So when you watch those videos, first and foremost, have an understanding. It's an exchange of energy. And secondly, the other factor to be mindful of, we're applying principles, Tai Chi principles, when we're doing two-person drills. And let's break down some of those principles that we apply. First, the 4FRCT. When we're doing the two-person verification drills, we don't want any force. Okay, force will not develop the two-person drills. We don't want any resistance. We don't want any clutter mind. We don't want any tension. A common theme that resonates in the two-person drills, I'm always saying, I welcome the energy. I want you to come into my internal space. Why? Because in two-person drills, we learn to surrender. We learn to open. Why do we need to open? Because we want to receive your energy. We want to allow it to flow in the equilibrium. And once that happens, and you have the openness, now you start to develop what we call this connection to the ground. You cannot do IST if you have tension. You cannot do IST if you're exhibiting force, okay? And on the mental side of it, as far as the mind is concerned, if your mind is always anticipating, if the mind is worried about what's happening, if the mind is always concerned about how do I do this in terms of getting very nervous and anxious, you can't develop IST. So over the course of time, when we're doing all these two persons 95% mostly choreographed drills, you learn to open. You learn to start to understand more of what is your alignment. In the beginning, you're going to feel unstable. In the beginning, you're not going to know how to receive. In the beginning, over the course of time, your reflexes are going to come back. That's the independent action of the arms wanting to do something. And that's going to play out in the first couple of years. Some 2, some 3. And it's okay. It's all relative. As long as you go in the right direction and you have a good guidance on what to do, it doesn't matter if you take 5 years. Because as long as you go in the right direction, something will gradually change over time. So you want to let it happen organically. You cannot rush song. You cannot rush routing. It has to happen organically where you feel like you're very comfortable and you let the mind and body learn how to work together in harmony. The mind, the body, and then eventually your spirit, where you start to connect with this greater universe, this greater thing around us. And when that happens, then you start to see the freedom that you have within the limitations of your physical body. The physical body is very limited. If myself being 5'5" tall, from the tallest point to my lowest point, it's very limited. I don't have that much mass on me, right? So people come at me, I'm just a very small guy. But with being empty, now I feel like I'm 7 feet tall because my energy can go out. My energy can go down. When you come at me, my vessel, the clothing on the hanger, becomes more and more sewn because of 2-person drills. And that feeling for me is resonating more and more and more. It's because of the practice of exchanging of energies. Okay? Sometimes we have people come to class right in the beginning. Once you touch them, they feel like they're hard as a rock. There's just so much energy that wants to come at you, right? And they learn from constructive feedback. Remember now, in the in-person classes, we always give constructive feedback. There's no judgment. There's no like why you doing this, why you doing that. We're just giving feedback. Hey, I feel like your arms are just still have a lot of tension, still have a lot of reflex force that want to come toward me. Can you go a little softer? And you start to learn the acronym MTR. You start to move like a feather, touch like a feather, and receive like a feather. Okay? That will happen more and more and more over time. Now, when you're by yourself, I've always told you, you have tools at your disposal as if you were training 2-person drills. I said, hang some clothes up, get close to it, and start moving the clothing. Because when you move the clothing, it has an equal reaction to come back at you. So you learn to listen to that energy. When I was in Taiwan training with Sifu, he had us go to the bushes and we look for a very soft type of tree that has branches. And he would say, Wayne, start working. And he would demonstrate how to do it. He would get close to the branch, something that's very soft. He would move it, and it has an equal force coming back at you. And every time that energy comes back at you, you learn to listen internally to that action. And you move it around, left, right, up, down. And that's one way of training it. Another way of training 2-person drills in your solo training is how you connect with the ground. The more sewn, the more you can get to your structural integrity, the more you're going to connect to the ground. And when you feel that, you'll feel it. It's very obvious when you get to this more intermediate type of your progress. You'll feel the connection to the ground all the time. German Ching, very famous grandmaster from Taiwan, creator of the 37 movements, I read a quote that he said one day, when you practice the form, you start connecting with the air. It's a feeling that the air is like this passage, and how you move, how you bring the arms down, you start connecting with the air around you. Okay, it sounds very philosophical, it's very esoteric. Perhaps it is, but when you get into this deep training in IST, you start connecting with things around you when you're doing solo training, and the energy becomes more apparent to you. And that's part of the two-person verification drills. One thing that you do not see us doing when you're watching all these hundreds and almost thousands of videos that we post, we're never going at each other. We're never aggressive. We're never with that type of mindset. We finish, we're happy, we go to the next drill, and that's the practice that we do. Okay, so that's on two-person verification drill. So in summary, in a nutshell, we do two-person verification drills to learn about an exchange of energy. In the process of doing so, we're working on the principles of Tai Chi, like alignment, like connection, like sticking energy, like stillness training, clearing of the mind, calming of the body. We learn about letting go of the reflexes, moving as one unit. All those play a role in two-person verification drills. And lastly, what I said earlier is you can still do it on your own by doing it with branches, hanging close, learning to connect to the ground. Those at least will give you the proper direction on what to do. Okay? And if you have close friends and close cousins, you can always drag them in and just do a little bit of something. I do that all the time. So anytime my nieces, their partners, their husbands, I'm always saying, hey, let's do something, They're much younger than me, but it's another way to practice. As long as you're soft and gentle, you're going in the right direction. Okay, so that's on two-person verification drills, and we'll come to that again in the future as we learn to connect the dots deeper. Do have a few minutes.